Hello guys, and welcome back to this series of video where I discuss a lot of things around stock analysis and risk management. In this video I'm going to go through a lot of screeners that can be easily accessed in Yahoo Finance. And if you don't know how to access it, you just go to Yahoo Finance, create an account, and in the research section, if you go to stock screeners, you'll come to this screen, and I have multiple views set up here. But if you don't have them, don't worry, you can just go to customize, and then there are multiple data columns available, and they're grouped by these categories, so you can click on them and select whatever columns you want. So without getting into any more details around that, because I think this is pretty self-explanatory, let's dive into what each of them really mean. So right now I'm looking into the ownership related metrics or factors that are available in the Yahoo Finance app. And if you see here, I can see this column, which is percentage of share held by insiders. So why this is important when you're screening? Because the more percentage of share that are held by the company insiders, which are basically the company executives, directors, and sometimes other officers, it gives more confidence, because because when you get hurt, they get hurt, and when you win, they win. So basically they have mutual interest in taking the company to the next level. So that is why the insider ownership is really important. Higher insider ownership can indicate confidence in the company's future and alignment with shareholders. So what you have to do is you have to look for high insider ownership alongside other positives, like very low or decreasing insider ownership it can just warrant some caution. So if you see in this example, Nvidia, it says 4.33% is held by the insiders, which is a decent ownership from the insiders. That is the amount of shares held by the top executives and employees. And if you see the percentage of shares, outstanding shares held by the institution, you can see it's 69.69. Now what is the percentage of institutional ownership? The percentage of shares held by institutional investors, that means mutual funds, pension funds, insurance companies, etc. So as you know, these funds, they spend a lot of resource investigating and analyzing each and every company. And if they have a majority of they are holding majority of the available outstanding shares, then you can think of it like a pretty good company to invest in. Institutions often have resources to perform due diligence. A rising institutional stake can be a sign of growing confidence, while a sudden drop may raise some questions. So if Nvidia goes from 69 to maybe 70, that's great. But if that drops, then you have to be cautious, because institutional investors are now less interested and they have the money to move the market. So you have to be really careful. So one way to use this is use the historical value, and if this goes up, that's higher confidence. If it goes down, lower confidence. But that said, like everything else, context matters here. So ownership data is most informative when it is paired with other valuation metrics like PE, PB, EV, EBITDA, growth expectation, or debt levels. So if if paired with all these other metrics correctly, you can make a very good sense of it. But you also have to watch for anomalies like a very sudden change in insider or institutional ownership around earnings, or major announcements. They do warrant deeper investigations. For example, if all of a sudden ownership goes like from 20% to 50%, then it might be, it might be something deeper. So you have to be very cautious around that. And then you have to also compare it with peers. Look at ownership patterns across the company sector to identify whether a stock is an outlier or it follows industry norms. So that was all about the ownership columns. And then next we are going to discuss is valuations.